Welcome back everyone to something called Balls Deep. Today we got a very special kind of collab. In fact, I would even say a grand alliance. Yes guys, I gathered a couple of amazing and goated YouTubers from the anime One Piece community to pick amongst their favorite devil fruit that they would consider one of the best. Now obviously I know it's a vague term to say the best, but honestly each devil fruit, depending on how it's used, can be considered amazing in its own rights. However, in this video I want to make it clear that we purposely avoided some of the more spoken fruits, the Gomu Gomu Nomi and the Itanomi. Well, pretty much the fruits that you would kind of expect. We plan to make a series where I will be going into each of these fruits in great detail, which none of you guys would want to miss, right? No! Even the small details such as smashing that like button and dinging the notification bell to be part of the Balls Deep crew. But the point I'm trying to make is that we might not cover your favorite devil fruits, so join us in this video by letting us know your favorite devil fruits in the comment section below, and make sure you give us some of your reasonings. But before each of us get into our fruits, let's quickly run you lot on the basics of what they are. From the get-go, apart from granting their eaters a unique superhuman ability with the side effect of the, inability to swim, devil fruits are grouped into 3 categories: Paramecia, Logia, and Zoan. Paramecia, being the most common of the 3 types, grants the users powers outside of animal and elemental transformations, which would fall into the other categories. Usually a Paramecia fruit can affect the user's body structure, changing it into a unique substance. An example being rubber, like it did with Luffy, or even something weird like wax or Mochi. If the fruit doesn't change the person's body, it could either give the user the ability to affect other people, objects, or even the environment around them. An example of this would be the Goro Goro Nomi, Whitebeard's Tremor fruit. Well, technically it's Blackbeard's now. But coming to Logia fruits, which are considered quite rare and powerful of the 3, as the users are able to create, control, and transform their bodies into a natural element such as fire, ice, light, or even darkness, so on and so forth. Effectively, this elemental transformation makes the user intangible as they embody their element. To make things even more broken, they also gain full control over their element. For instance, Admiral Kizaru being able to embody light and literally travel at the speed of it, along with transporting by the means of reflection. That's just completely broken. Lastly, we have Zoan, in which the users gain the ability to transform into an animal or a hybrid between it and their own species. A good example is Chopper, our blue-nosed reindeer. Isn't he so cute, guys? He ate the Itanomi, the human fruit, which allows him to transform into the human species or the hybrid between it and his own reindeer self. Now, Zoan fruits are actually quite unique as it has its own subcategories, as animals is kind of a broad term. There are Zoan fruits which can give the users ability to transform into an extinct species such as dinosaurs. These fruits are known as ancient Zoan types and are very rare, being stronger than regular Zoan. Then we have mythical Zoan, which, as you can guess, grants the user the ability to transform into mythological creatures such as a dragon or phoenix. These are the rarest type of devil fruits to exist. The reasoning being because mythical beings are rare in itself, almost non-existent, along with the fact that with this transformation the user can also obtain the abilities of the mythical being, like dragon breath if you were a dragon, or healing flames if you were a phoenix. You guys get the point, right? There is so much to unpack about devil fruits that I'll leave it for another video. But before we get into our first fruit, the last thing I need to cover is awakening, where in extremely rare instances a devil fruit can awaken, increasing its overall ability. The awakening's effect will depend on which type of devil fruit the user has, as awakened Zoan users are simply granted an extreme boost in strength, speed, durability, and overall recovery. Within the One Piece community, Chopper's monster point is seen as a forced awakening, but as this isn't confirmed, a more relevant example of awakened Zoans would be the Jailer Beast of Impel Down. Now, in the case of Paramecia types, awakening is seen to allow the user to spread their power to the surrounding, matching the nature of their devil fruit power, to then be manipulate and transform that material as they would their own bodies. Some examples are Doflamingo's Itanomi, where he's able to manipulate the ground and buildings into strings that he can control. Another example is Katakuri, where he's able to transform his surroundings into Mochi using his Mochi Nomi. If Luffy were to awaken his devil fruit, it's very likely that he can transform his surroundings into rubber. Now I know there are Paramecia fruits which already allow its users to affect the surroundings, like the Goro Goro Nomi tremor fruit, but the difference between that and awakening is the users are able to literally transform their surroundings and control it with just their minds as they would their own bodies. When it comes to awaken Logia, we haven't seen much, but the principle might be quite similar to Paramecia's. But with that, I hope you all get the gist of the basics of devil fruits. Let's finally move on to our picks.
So next up on whatever video this happens to be, it is me, GrandLineReview. I know, I'm disappointed as well, but we'll get through this together.
Nope.
And I would like to present to you the Goro Goro Nomi. Now this fruit isn't so much the best as it is by far the best, most underestimated. And I've chosen this one because I know that everyone else is probably going to cover all of the standard ones that make you really good at like the punching and stuff, but don't let Viola fool you because this fruit is beyond insane. But since most of you have probably forgotten that this fruit exists, let alone what it does, here's a reminder. The Goro Goro Nomi allows its user to see through everything, whether it be layers of physical matter or even deeper concepts like being able to selectively read minds. Let me just emphasize that. Read minds. That simple ability alone essentially activates God mode for the rest of your life, but that is only one of the utilities of the Goro Goro Nomi. In addition to this, it also allows its user to monitor anyone or anything within a 4,000 kilometer radius of wherever the user happens to be. Now, to put that into a bit of a tangible perspective, if you were smack bang in the middle of America, then that would allow you to monitor the entire USA, as well as most of Mexico and the relevant parts of Canada. And so at this point, you are now an all-seeing, all-knowing, omniscient being. And yet, we still have another power to examine. Because if you were concerned about the combative applications of the Goro Goro Nomi, then look no further than whales. This fruit also allows its user to create gigantic whale creatures out of tears, which are said to be about as hot as smelting iron. Which, by the way, iron melts at a temperature of 1800 degrees Celsius, which is hotter than the hottest of magma. So this fruit is even putting Akainu to shame. And you can more than likely create non-whale creatures as well. Viola just likes whales for reasons. Maybe it's because whales have the largest male equipment in the entire animal kingdom. I actually saw one once at the Penis Museum in Iceland. Sure did put me to shame. But any one of these abilities would be insane and worthy of its own individual fruit. X-ray vision, mind reading, nationwide surveillance, and smelting iron tier powers? This is 4 devil fruits in one. And if it were in the hands of someone whose hands did not belong to Viola, then it would be pretty world-breaking. So look, punching, yeah, it's nice and all, but becoming an all-knowing god being with the attack power potentially greater than that of a Marine Admiral is much nicer, IMO.
If I could pick one devil fruit to eat, I would pick Marco's Phoenix fruit. Why? Easy. First, it looks fantastic. Second, it gives you the ability to fly. Now, I don't know about you, but that's one thing I wish I could do above all else. 3, it's basically a mix between all 3 categories. As a Zoan, it gives you a speed and power boost. Then, just like a Paramecia, we have its healing abilities. And it's pretty much a fire Logia fruit, though here your body just regenerates really fast. But that's actually even better, because if you get hit with Sea Prism Stone or Haki, as a Logia user, you take real damage. As a Phoenix, I just heal my body afterwards. Not only am I fast, but I can also tank some of the most destructive powers out there. And the best thing is, all of these are great abilities to have even if you're not fighting a world-ending war. Now excuse me, I'm suddenly craving some pineapple.
Okay, it's my turn now, yeah? I'm getting a bit excited. Hands down, my favorite devil fruit throughout One Piece has to be the Goro Goro Nomi, the Rumble fruit. A Logia fruit given the properties of lightning to its user, allowing them to create, control, and become lightning itself. Now, I didn't just pick this fruit because I feel it's probably one of the most broken ability anyone can have, but because it's just shockingly amazing. See what I did?
It's time to stop!
Okay, but seriously, we all have seen Enel's use of the Goro Goro Nomi. Like all Logias, he became intangible to touch, but what made him so special was the vast range of abilities he obtained by becoming lightning. For instance, Enel, if someone does manage to touch him, they will be instantly electrocuted. This would put anyone off going physically head to toe with him. Legit, just imagine yourself fighting lightning. Yeah, actually, hold up, let me add a disclaimer. Please don't go fighting lightning, don't be stupid, come on guys, this is just an anime, you can't fight lightning, it's just not possible. Enel is also able to merge with conductive matter like metal, allowing him to use it as armor. Not that he has to, you know, being untouchable and all, but being able to merge into these matter, Enel can travel through them like electricity would usually be able to do. However, traveling through these conductive matter isn't the only means of transport, as Enel can travel through lightning at its speed. Now, whilst there might be some confusion on Enel's exact speed, because speed of lightning and the speed of light is actually two different things, Enel is still pretty fast. If you guys watched Hunter x Hunter and you've seen Killua's Godspeed, well then yeah, that's pretty much it. But to put things into perspective, even though the flashes we see from the lightning strike does travel at the speed of light, the actual lightning strike travels at around 270,000 miles per hour. That's like under 1 hour from the moon to the earth. But you know, aside from having like Godspeed, Enel has many other uses as we do with electricity. For instance, Enel can jumpstart his heart if he enters a state of cardiac arrest, which he did by just applying a couple of jolts to his body. Another thing he can do is create electromagnetism by flowing through good conductors like gold, and if used correctly, he can pretty much cause magnetism. And with that, flowing electricity through objects like gold, and by controlling the temperature output, he can manipulate it and shape it very easily, creating pretty much anything with just a matter of seconds. But as I said, if you have the right mindset and you're quite intuitive like Enel was, you can manipulate and use electromagnetic waves from the air and analyze the surroundings. Enel was able to overhear conversations and even thoughts and actions of everyone in Skypiea because of this ability. With this, it even seems as though Enel awakened his devil fruit, being able to utilize and affect his surroundings to this extent. This understanding is due to how Enel uses his fruit. For instance, combining his observation hockey with the electromagnetic currents of the planet, effectively becoming kind of omniscient, or his ability to combine his own electric powers like other objects, for instance his Arc Maxim. Enel was able to make thunderstorms, a huge ball of lightning, and at one point he was able to physically become a gigantic being similar to Raijin, the famous Japanese thunder god, where Enel was able to output a maximum of 200 million watts. Now this is just Enel's output. It's not far-fetched to think that this fruit can give someone the ability to, you know, shoot out more. For instance, a typical lightning actually holds around 300 million watts. In fact, I even read an article suggesting that a single thundercloud holds around 1 billion watts. Now the only few drawbacks I do see is that obviously, you know, someone can fight you with a good insulator like Luffy did with Enel, but I'm pretty sure someone in the New World or even the Grand Line will easily conquer the sea. You know, just zap a few volts and bada bing bada boom, you got a couple of crispy fried ships. Alright, but obviously there's more that goes into it and it would need a dedicated video just to cover it. But with that, that's my favorite devil fruit.
Okay people, let me get up in here for a second. I know everybody got their opinions, but Finable World got something to say regarding devil fruit abilities. So I just gotta keep it real with y'all. I know some of y'all might think that this is funny, comical, or even laugh it off, but if I had to choose a devil fruit that I felt was the best or supreme, or at the very least a pretty damn good devil fruit power, it would definitely be the Goro Goro Nomi, aka the slow fruit from Foxy. I feel like that one is very underrated and underappreciated, mainly because the user Foxy, yeah, he's kind of a little bit of an idiot to be honest. But if you just look at the properties of this, right, if it wasn't used by somebody that was stupid like Foxy, you would be damn near invincible, because at the end of the day, once you hit them with the photons, they are in slow motion. You could come with a weapon, you could come at them with a sword, whatever the case may be, and they're going to be dunzo, kapoots. You can't do nothing at that particular point. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of a weakness that if you get exposed to the photons yourself, you will also be stuck in slow motion. But again, unless you're an idiot like Foxy, I think you'll be good, fam. I think you'll be good to go. To be honest with you, the Goro Goro no Mi, if it was in the hands of a smart and very intelligent person, heck, even somebody like Nomi, for example, if she had a devil fruit power and it was the Goro Goro no Mi, she would be astronomically strong because it's a great power. The only drawback to it is, hey, don't be an idiot and don't get sucked into your own damn photons. And I guess the fact that it's a Paramecia devil fruit, so you're not going to be like a Logia. And of course, the drawbacks to having a devil fruit to begin with, of losing the ability to swim and things like that. But yeah, the Goro Goro no Mi, you can pretty much take down damn near any opponent you could think of as long as you hit them with this, and you'll be good to go.
The Mochi Nomi, ladies and gentlemen, a devil fruit that is so unbelievably devastating, Oda had to put it in its own category. It's not a Zoan or a Logia, nor is it a regular Paramecia. It's a special Paramecia. And do you know how many devil fruits are in this special Paramecia category? That's right, exactly one, and it's the Mochi Mochi Nomi, therefore making it the most OP devil fruit in the entirety of One Piece. It was eaten by Charlotte Katakuri, the second son of the Big Mom family, and effectively the second strongest warrior in all of Totland, right behind the Yonko herself. It obviously gives Katakuri the complete control of Mochi, being able to turn his body into the substance and even regrow limbs that were blasted off by it. Mochi being a Japanese rice paste that's very sticky, it's used in like pastries and confectionaries. It follows the theme that in Totland a lot of other devil fruits were food themed, and also speaks volumes about Oda being able to take this kind of wacky concept for food themed superpowers and making it something truly devastating and honestly pretty intimidating. It's very reminiscent of a Logia. In fact, it was originally classified as a Logia. Oda retconned it later because I'm assuming it's because Mochi is not a naturally occurring element, it's an artificial one, though there could be other distinctions, we've just never really looked into it more beyond that. So the Mochi Mochi Nomi is basically the upgraded form of the Gomu Gomu Nomi. This comes up every now and then in the story. There's like upgraded versions of certain devil fruits, like Aokiji's Hia Hia Nomi is the upgraded form of Monet's Yuki Yuki Nomi. So that's the basic deal for the Gomu Gomu being the inferior version of the Mochi Mochi. So basically anything that Luffy's capable of doing with his Gomu Gomu Nomi, Katakuri's capable of doing too, just a little bit better. For instance, whenever Luffy goes into Gear 3rd, he blows into his skeletal system in order to get his arms to giant size. Katakuri's capable of doing that with just a thought. He doesn't have to blow air into his bones or anything, he just has a giant arm made out of Mochi. Likewise, when Luffy ignites his arm to go into Red Hawk and, have that firepower, Katakuri has a technique called Grilled Mochi that basically explodes upon impact. He could just send out a kick made out of Mochi and then trap the opponent, because remember, it's not just a durable kind of substance, it's also very sticky. So if he traps an opponent in the Mochi, he can just proceed to armament hockey up his limb and then just pound him into the ground over and over again until they die or give up. And that's probably how he wins most of his fights until he ended up fighting Luffy. The absolute potential and the creativity, everything you can do with this fruit should not be overlooked just because it's a Mochi power, right? Katakuri can literally mold his body into any shape, any weapon he wants. And on top of that, Katakuri's also an awakened user of the Mochi Mochi Nomi, so basically he can turn the entire battlefield into a flowing river of sticky rice paste for you to get caught in and then just beat the life out of you, okay? Now, there is a weakness to the Mochi. The sticky factor, I guess we'll call it, can be nullified with liquid, whether it be water or tea, as Jinbei used. If it's covered with some kind of liquid, then the enemy won't stick to the Mochi, but still, you get stuck in that stuff, you're probably not getting out, right? And additionally to that, I'm assuming this is because he is an awakened user, he can actually create structures of Mochi around him that are separate from his own body, but he can still control with his mind, such as his peerless donuts. He literally creates giant fists of Mochi behind him that act accordingly to his own movements. His ultimate technique is Buzz Cut Mochi, where Katakuri finally realizes his dream by transforming into a giant donut, running down the enemy at 88 miles per hour, turning his body into a giant spiked kanabo of Mochi, and then crushing them at excessive force. And he could create other stuff with it too, like he made that shrine made out of Mochi, so he basically can make a house whenever he wants to go in and have his donut time, so yeah, that's pretty cool, right? At the end of the day, it's a very interesting ability, and I really want to see Katakuri again in the future to showcase some other moves with it, and maybe, hey, even teach maybe Luffy how to use his awakening when he gets it, because since their devil fruits are so similar, maybe Katakuri could give Luffy some tips on how to utilize his own awakening. Who knows? But anyway, thanks for having me, guys. This will be Tekking, signing out. Mochi Mochi!
Look, I know I'm not the most qualified One Piece dude, right? And some of y'all might be a little confused as to why I'm on this video. Trust me, I am also. But hopefully this is me extending a bit of an olive branch, talking about what for me is the best devil fruit in One Piece, and it belongs to none other than the best villain in One Piece. And I will be talking about none other than Don Quixote do Flamingo's fruit, the Itanomi, or the string fruit. Now, growing up as a kid, I grew up in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy movie era, and so the idea of conjuring up anything similar to that was also really cool to me. And eventually, as I get into a series like Naruto, saucering the entire puppeteering thing for me was really cool. Enter stage left, Doflamingo. Now, the Itanomi is a Paramecia fruit, and honestly, for me, it's probably one of the most versatile that I've seen in all of the different things that it can do. It can control people's bodies, he's able to attach them to even clouds and swing across the sky like a madman Spider-Man, he's able to slice and dice people with it, he's able to use string bullets, basically anything you can think of regarding string, I think it's only limited to the imagination. And even unlike Spider-Man, these strings aren't as easy to cut. Like once this string is deployed, good luck actually getting out of it or breaking the string, because it's like good luck. Can really be used for all sorts of nets and traps, and if you wanted to make the string thin enough, some people might not even see it and get caught in it. Oh yeah, and remember earlier how I brought up the whole sorcery thing and Doflamingo being able to control people like puppets? Yeah, he's able to do multiple people at once. He's also able to create string clones, and a lot of the things he seems to do is with the usage of his fingertips and hardly any effort. So if you're somebody who wants to multitask, well, this is perfect. So I've really been just trying to right now lay out some of the practical reasonings for the fruit, and honestly some of the things that I would love to use it for. But honestly, for me, when it comes to the actual series, it's the amount of insane variety that Doflamingo employs with his attacks and techniques, be it normal or awakened. And speaking of awakened, the awakened form of the Itanomi is absolutely insane, and the amount of things Doflamingo does with that is just even more mind-blowing. But on top of all that being said, I really think that the Itanomi is not only practically probably one of the ones that I would love to try out. I think in the series, Doflamingo shows great versatility and imagination while using it. I also think it is the perfect fruit for Doflamingo, somebody of his intellect, serving as kind of the middleman for everything that there is in the world of One Piece and making himself untouchable, literally having the world, it seems, in his fingertips. A character with that type of anger and that type of charisma and that type of control whenever he's on scene has literal control over people. It's an incredibly powerful fruit, only made even better by Doflamingo's brilliant mind. And so giving a powerful weapon to an evil genius who would know how to use it, well, there's not really a better duo than that. With the Itanomi, a kingdom fell to Doflamingo, and the very same structures of said kingdom would be turned back into string for Doflamingo to control. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in this one. If there was any devil fruit I would have to pick, and one that I'd make the case for the best devil fruit, is the Itanomi.
Hey guys, it's me Sid, the editor, and my favorite devil fruit is the Pikapika no Mi. This fruit is used by Admiral Kizaru of the Marines and is a Logia type, which literally allows you to turn into light. Now that's not just where the abilities of this fruit end though. The Pikapika no Mi lets you control and create light itself. Since you can become light, it also means that you can move at the speed of light. And this is the main reason I find this fruit to be so special. Imagine you're in combat and just moving around your opponent at the speed of light. They wouldn't even be able to notice you or your attacks, as we see with Kizaru against the worst generation pirates. With this fruit, you will never be late to things, as we saw how fast Kizaru showed up at the Sabaody archipelago after receiving the news that Luffy had punched the celestial dragon. I get that the Marine HQ was close by, but my man showed up within a few hours or even an hour of this event happening, just as all the pirates of the worst generation were trying to find a way out of the island. Kizaru blitzes in, spoiling all the fun. Of course, with the weakness of only being able to travel in straight lines, you wouldn't get to a long distance as fast as light itself, but even with a few stops, I would imagine Kizaru has never missed a meeting in his life. Now, speed isn't the only thing so cool about this fruit, but also the ability to create laser beams at will, which, when landed, are essentially grenades. We even see Kizaru transform his own body into a cluster of lasers shooting in all directions all around him. With this fruit, you can also make tangible things created from light, as we see with Kizaru making a sword to fight against Rayleigh. All that is needed now is a white metal handle and you have yourself a lightsaber. This fruit is not only busted with power and speed, but also has the most important ability to let me procrastinate even longer before showing up to things. And that is why the Pikapika no Mi is one of the best devil fruits in One Piece. If you guys want to hear more from me, then follow me on Twitter at ScrubLordSid, and I'ma pass it on to the next fruit.
Alright gamers, it's your boy, Too Spooky here, and I'm about to tell you all about one of the most broken devil fruits in One Piece. Is it the absolute best? No, but it's certainly going to give the best a run for its money. The devil fruit I'm referencing is none other than the Hobi Hobi no Mi or Hobby Hobby fruit. Put simply, this devil fruit allows the user to transform anyone into a toy by touching them with their hand. Already quite the useful ability, taking even the strongest of enemies and turning them into plastic in an instant. But it gets even better. After transforming said individual into a toy, the user can also give them a verbal contract, basically forcing them to obey any commands they give, making them nothing but obedient slaves. And it just keeps getting more broken. Because after an individual is transformed into a toy, every memory of their existence is completely erased from everyone. So it's not like you can realistically rely on anyone to save you, because as far as they're concerned, you never existed in the first place. And after the contract, it's not even like you can speak. You're just nothing. You're plastic. You basically exist just to suck eggs. I think this ability pretty much speaks for itself already, as this could easily take down anyone in the One Piece world if the user could get close enough to touch them. You can simply turn a Yonko into a toy, give them their slave contract, and then destroy them on the spot. Flawless victory. The literal only downfall of this fruit is its abilities being exclusive to the user's hands, as if their hands were chopped off, they couldn't use this ability anymore. Additionally, if the user is knocked out, anyone who was previously transformed into a toy is transformed back into their original self, and all memories of their existence return. But knocking someone out is a pretty sure way to undo pretty much any devil fruit abilities that have outside influence on the world. Oh, wait. We're also not done yet! This fruit still has the potential to get even fucking better. One thing I failed to mention is that this devil fruit grants the user eternal youth. Now, this could be considered a downfall if the user is young, like Sugar when she consumed the fruit. But imagine if this devil fruit was consumed by someone like, I don't know, Zoro, for instance? A swordsman in his prime, only getting stronger but never aging from his current state? He would be an unstoppable force with already incredible abilities mixed in with this insanely broken devil fruit. Like, how do you beat that? You don't. You're screwed. Plain and simple, the OPopinomi is one of the best devil fruits in the series, and I will not hear otherwise. Thanks for having me and letting me go balls deep with this one.
So the OPopinomi is a special fruit for a lot of different reasons, and I know this video is supposed to be an underrated fruit or a fruit we think is the best or our favorites, and that's why I chose the OPopinomi. When it comes to a fruit that I feel like has utilization to be basically a toolbox, something that can be used in offensive ways but also to clutch up and to help people in defensive ways, I think of the OPopinomi probably first before any other fruit. There are other fruits like Marco's that I think have spectacular abilities, but when it comes to just overall being good, I think Law's Fruits is probably debatably one of the best. For today's collab, I am more than happy to be here, and I'm actually super excited to be on ABD's channel and to talk about my favorites and what I feel like is the best fruit. Before I explain to you really personally why I like this fruit a lot, just a quick rundown of the fruit itself. And I'm sure all of you are familiar with that, but that's just the formality of one of these videos, right? So the OPopinomi is a Paramecia type devil fruit, and it allows the user to create a spherical space, which is called the room by Law, in which the user has complete control over the placement and orientation of the objects inside, making the user a free modification human. It was previously eaten by an unknown doctor and currently by Trafalgar de Waterlaw, who was force-fed it by Don Quixote Rocinante Corazon. So we first get introduced to this fruit in the Sabayore Archipelago arc. This is where we get introduced to all of the supernova as well. But we really don't get the abilities explained to us until Punk Hazards, which I really don't like a lot. Punk Hazard is a good arc. It's just one of my least favorite arcs, but it is awesome for a lot of different reasons. Caesar was pretty funny, and Law was awesome. And one of the biggest reasons was because we really got an in-depth look at Law's fruit. I feel like this fruit is best used by doctors because you can use it, and Law has been using it to do a lot of different things like miraculous surgeries. He can cure diseases as well. But one of the biggest and coolest things about this fruit gets introduced to us and is even called the ultimate devil fruit because it has a unique power to grant another person eternal youth in exchange for the user's own life. It's so much of an important fruit that the Marines were willing to pay as much as 5 billion, not million, but billion berry for this fruit from DS Barrels. I think besides the abilities which allow Law to pretty much bend and like warp reality in a way in his room, I think the thing that makes this fruit so cool, besides of course the abilities to actually shape reality basically to your own will within your room, is the lore that it brings to the story. Why I'm so interested and why I like this fruit so much is that it adds so much theory crafting into the story, because then it brings up conversations like, why did the Marines want this so bad? Or did any other person in the One Piece world that we know have this immortality surgery done on them? him. There's other people in the story like Emu, who people have speculated may have gotten this surgery done on him before. Some people even think that maybe the Gorosei had it done on them. There's so many different possibilities, but everything that culminated with Law and Doflamingo and Dressrosa is what I love about him and his fruit, because it really creates what everyone loves about One Piece, and that is the lore, the stories, the possibilities. Everything that we all love to theorize and speculate on gets created through these different things that are implemented in the story, and I feel like Trafalgar D. Waterlaw and the OPopinomi personify this. In closing, I do think this is the best fruit just from a utility standpoint. Offensively, you can use it. Defensively, you can use it. You can help cure allies with this. You can help do surgeries on allies with this. We've seen him utilize it very well, even in Wano right now, currently on the rooftop. But not only that, it adds beautiful aspects to One Piece that we all love, speculating and theorizing on different lore. Thank you so much for having me on this video, ABD. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you guys like the OPopinomi as much as I do. As always, I hope you all are staying safe and healthy during these trying times. This has been Sensei Inc, and I will see you all in the next video.
Okay guys, that's pretty much it for this video, but before I do end it, I just have to shout out the Butter Butter Nomi, the Chop Chop fruit. Honestly, this is such a powerful fruit and underrated. Like, I might have to do a whole video just on the Butter Butter Nomi, because with this fruit, you're literally invincible against slashes. Like, imagine fighting Zoro, Mihawk, it don't matter, because you can split apart and that's it, it's done, dibby that, dibby do. But the main reason I wanted to quickly add the Butter Butter Nomi to this list is because honestly, it all depends on the user and the potential of it, especially when it comes to awakening. With the Butter Butter Nomi, if awakening is possible, it's likely the user will be able to split apart the world. Okay, maybe the world is, a little bit of a stretch, but this fruit will be similar to Law's OPopinomi, but I believe the user, in this case Buggy, will have more of a control of what's around him. This could effectively give something similar to that of telekinesis. Buggy is able to control his chopped body as long as his feet is planted onto the ground, but assumingly if he does affect the surroundings with his Butter Butter Nomi, he'll be able to control everything with his mind as long as a piece of it is on the ground. Now I want to thank every one of these guys who helped tighten this video. Their contribution and collaboration, it's just more than amazing. So a big shout out to Taking GrandLineReview, O'Hara, Spooky, Sensei Inc for Neverworld, Masked Man, and even your boy Sid jumped in for you lot. Please show each and every one of them the love from the Balls Deep community. I got their channels and socials linked in the description and comment section below. Check them out and subscribe. With that guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you smash that like button, ding the notification bell, and until then, I'll catch you lot next time.